Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Shades of Neen, where we do beauty on a budget. Our aim here is to find good quality affordable makeup for everyday use. If that sounds good to you, please click that subscribe button and give my video a big thumbs up. Today's video has actually been requested by a friend to just do some simple makeup with as little products as possible, so we're gonna try our best here. I don't have to put my hair back today because it's already back, so let's just get straight into it. I'll zoom you in and then we'll get going. Okay, so first things first, I'd suggest, obviously, if you do have a little bit of problematic skin, I would suggest that you just do your skincare first before you apply makeup. Always apply makeup to a very clean face. I use some serums just to eliminate some of this redness, and then, you know, I am a girl, so at certain times of the month I get hormonal pimples here, so we'll start with that first. So the first thing I would go in with is primer. I'm just going to use this primer today, and primer isn't essential, but I'd suggest it if you did have, like me, really large pores here, or if you have some dryness on your face, use a primer that's appropriate for your skin. So this is just a blurring faux filter primer, and I've mentioned it in my W7 video, which I will link up here. And for me, that just eliminates these really large pores that I have over here on my forehead and some on my chin. So I'm just going to take my primer and I'm just going to place it on the areas where I mostly need it. I would just push that into the skin. And when you are trying to fill your pores and some scarring, you'd want to go in and just tap everything down rather than swiping it, because that doesn't really help the cause. So next thing I would suggest for just a simple look is a concealer that is the same color as your skin. So for that, I'm just using this LA Girl Pro Concealer, and my shade is Pure Beige. So just squeezing that out. That's only if you have scarring or some problem areas. So just find those spots and just spot conceal like that. Give it a second just to dry down, and then I would just go ahead and pat that out with my finger. So you can do this with all spots on your face. So as you can see, that's pretty close to my skin color. Another rule of thumb you can use is just to go for concealer the same shade as your foundation. I never used to use concealers, and only recently have I realized the importance of them. Look at that. So that is my scarring or discoloration just disappeared. So next we'll go in straight with foundation. The foundation I'm using today is the PS My Perfect Color Perfect Finish Foundation, medium to full coverage natural finish foundation from Primark. This is actually one of my current favorites. I just really like the finish and the way it looks on my skin. So for that, I'm just going to take a sponge, and I'd suggest if you do have a little bit more textured skin to use a sponge. I just find it helps filling in with these pores and making it look a little bit more natural. But you can just go in with obviously any brand that you prefer. So I always start on the inside of my cheeks, because that is usually where you get more of your redness. So I also never go under the eye, because we'll go in there with concealer. Foundation's a bit heavy for the under eyes, so it can drag it down and crease. So I'm just, again, stippling that on and not dragging it across the face, because we want to fill those pores. I really love this foundation. It has a scent, like I've said in previous videos. I'll also link that video up here, but honestly, it hasn't caused any irritation yet, and it just looks really nice on the skin. It is a very affordable one, so you don't have to be buying high-end products just for that. So just completing the entire face. People usually don't have many problems on the perimeter of their face, so that's why you start on the inside and work your way out, so you don't need as much coverage on the outer edges of your face, especially if you don't like wearing a lot of makeup. You know, you can just concentrate that over here and then slightly blur and blend it out with the outside of the face. And remember to take that down the neck, just in case your foundation shade is a bit different from your neck shade. Next, I'm gonna go in with another concealer. I would really recommend this. You don't have to, but I prefer to, because like I said, the foundation is really heavy under your eyes and it can drag it down. So go in with a concealer. You can use the same brand as your foundation, or you can just pick one that's a little bit more lightweight. And for this, you'd want 1 to 2 shades lighter. If you have very textured skin, you'd want to only go 1 to 2 lights. Don't go too much lighter, as that will just emphasize more texture and more problematic areas. So I'm using the W7 one again, HD concealer. We've got you covered, and my shade is medium neutral 6. Just taking the doe foot, I'm just going to place it in the middle of in the middle of my eye there, just taking it slightly down, and then on the outer corners over here, just a little dollop, and the same on the other side. Then I usually like to highlight the middle of my face, but we're not going to do that today. So I'm just going to do it in my smile lines over here, because that's where my foundation tends to crease no matter what foundation I use, and just a slight bit on the sides of my nose, because that's where I get a lot of redness and it also rubs off easier. So just to conceal all of that, and we'll just start tapping it in on the smile lines. I always like to start down and work my way up, just because I like to leave the concealer to set a bit under the eye. And then we'll just go straight in under the eyes and just pat that out again. Don't swipe it. And honestly, you can do all of this with just a beauty blender. You don't need loads of brushes. So blending that up, because it helps you lift your eye over there and also eliminates redness in the corner over there. And then I'm going to take the foundation all the way to the inner corner and over my eyelid, and the same on the other eye. Next, we're going to move on to finishing powder, and I would suggest just getting a either translucent or a highlighting powder, or even just a normal setting powder, as it helps just lock your makeup in. You know that we're wearing masks and whatever, so this just helps your makeup, first of all, takes the shine out, and then makes it last a little bit longer than it would with you just just going outside like this. It would start melting and moving around on your face, especially when your natural oils come through. So because I have an oily tea, I like to just powder that. So the powder I'm using, like you just saw, is the PS Blurred Out Skin Conditioning Universal Blurring Powder. So this is a translucent powder, and I would suggest getting one. You can just get one from Clicks or wherever. It doesn't have to be expensive. I wouldn't go with the same color as your foundation, as that would just add more makeup and make it feel a bit more heavier, but this doesn't feel like anything on the skin. The one I have is really blurring as well, so it helps me with my pores and any other texture. My brushes are nice and clean, so just grabbing some of that powder, I like to pick it up on the brush and then just dab it off in the lid, and then we'll just use that for the rest of the face. This has a lot of kickback, but it works really, really well. So again, I like to start with the middle of the face, so I usually would go with from here, like right under my eye and on my cheek, and we'll just pat that on the face first. Just take some on your eyelid as well, because we did put some concealer there and we don't want it to crease. So after you've laid that down, you can go ahead and just dust off any excess powder. Then I like to go in with my sponge again and just push over the entire face, just bouncing it off slightly, not swiping it again, and that's just to pick up any excess powder again and just push that powder into the skin and make it look nice and flawless. I look really pale now. So as you can see, like I said, I look really like flat. So I would suggest definitely going in with a bronzer, especially if you're a little paler than I am. I would then go in with some bronzer, like I said, and you can pick any bronzer you like. It doesn't have to be a specific brand. You can just pick up one that's you know, your shade. So today I'm going to be using the Collection Gorgeous Glow face palette, and this is the bronzer in here. So these are actually really handy because you have, like I said, 2 blushes, like I said in my other video, 2 blushes, a highlight and a bronzer, and that's really handy for traveling purposes, or if you're not one for loads of makeup. This is, you know, an all-in-one. So just picking up some of that bronzer, we're gonna just warm up the complexion, not even contour. So I thought there was a mirror in there. Just picking some of that on the side of your brush, tapping off some of that excess. We're gonna place that right here. So you see your cheekbone is here, and we're gonna place it right there. So where the sun would hit you if you were to tan your face. So just like that, and on that entire area. A lot of people I know do not use bronzer. I never used to, but I didn't realize that it adds so much dimension back to your face and just makes your makeup look a lot more natural rather than just slapped on foundation. And then I like to go on the forehead, where obviously the sun would hit you as well. So as you can see, it's just added like some sort of color back to my face. I think it looks really healthy as well. Then moving on to some blush. I know a lot of people also don't like blush, but honestly, everybody has some slight redness in their faces, whether they're getting hot or get shy, or you know the deal. When you blush, it's natural to do so. So adding a blush in your routine obviously just gives you that natural flush back to your face, so your face doesn't look caked on. I'm just going to go with this natural light pink over here because I'm not really feeling the peachy tone today. So again, placement with this is anywhere from the apples of your cheek up to your cheekbone. So I like to just put mine layered above my bronzer, so it all seamlessly, can you see? I love blush, so I always go a bit heavy-handed, but you don't have to. You can just, you know, do a little bit and off you go. So you can definitely stop at that. I would suggest, if you're not into highlight or not familiar with highlight, just go on with it. Also, if you have really textured skin, highlight can emphasize texture, so you could just leave it at that. But I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of highlight, so again, just from this palette, and then I'm just going to place it on this top of my bone over here. So just like that, just taking it in circular motion so we get the product a little bit more dispersed. This highlight isn't a very good color for me because, as you can see, it is a bit ashy and gray, but for the purpose of using as little products as possible, I thought that was awesome. So I like to just blend over the highlight again so it's not so prominent, like I've said many times if you follow me. So again, just over here on the face. Next, we're going to move on to eyes, and this is like so simple, but personally I prefer to do just a tiny little bit of eyeshadow, nothing crazy. So for this, I'm just going to grab a fluffy brush, and I'm going to dip into our bronzer here, and I'm going to place that in the crease, which is that line that we have there naturally, and we're just going to swipe that through the crease. And the same on the other eye. And then you can actually use the same brush. Let's do that, make it simple. Same brush, we're just going to dip into this pink shade again that we used for our blush, and that we're going to layer on the lid of the eye. Then just going in with our finger, we're going to dip into our highlight over here, and we're just going to place that in the inner third of our eye. So just patting that on and bringing it down into the inner corner over here. Then grabbing that same brush, I'm just going to clean all of that up. Then I'm going to take the same brush and I'm just going to I'm just going to mix these two together, so pop, 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 and that's it. Tap off the excess, and then I'm going to just squeeze my brush together and we'll just run that along the lower lash line. And that's it for eyes. It doesn't look in like anything crazy. It's not like a full-on eyeshadow. It's just connecting the colors that are on your face on your eyes. And next we're just going to move on to some liquid liner. This is optional. If you don't wear liquid liner, don't put it on, but I love liquid liner and I wear it all the time. So I'm just going to add a thin line on it. This is the one from Poundland, by the way. So I'm just going to add a very thin line on my lash line. And then moving on to mascara, I'm going to use this one again from W7. I really did like it, and it's called the Ultra Push. I actually found out that they sell W7 on Takealot, so go check it out, and it's not that expensive at all. So go have a look, they do have it. You can use any mascara. Again, you don't have to use all the products I'm using, just use the products that you have at home and you can follow along with this. So I'm just gonna, I always coat the top of my lashes as well, because I notice that when people, especially on YouTube, do videos and they look down, you can still see the eyeshadow on the top of their lashes. So I always like to coat the top as well. I know it can get messy, but I just prefer it. And I just curl my lashes with the wand. Sorry, I can't do, I'm multitasking and talking, and doing mascara is always difficult for everyone, I think. And that's it for the face. I think that looks really, really simple, really nice. But lastly, I'm gonna go for some gloss. This is just from Models Own that I got in my mystery box, and I really, really like the tone of this. So it's just like a nice orange. We're just gonna pop that on the lips. So you can use any lip gloss or lip balm or whatever you deem fit. So if you don't like lip gloss, just use a lip balm. If you want to wear a little bit of lipstick, you can do that. But this is my suggestion for a simple look with a little bit of products. I mean, you can still see slightly that I've made an effort, but at the same time I'm not wearing heaps of makeup and I only used a few products. So yeah, this is our final look. Please let me know, Lauren, if this helped you at all. If not, we can do it again. But honestly, the base products that I suggested, I would go out and get. Obviously, any brand you see fit. It doesn't have to be a name brand or whatever. Just see what works for you, and you could just buy an affordable powder or concealer, see how you like it and get used to using it and placement, and then from there on you can choose something different and see what you like. But let me know if that helped, and let me know if you guys want to see any other type of videos. But yeah, other than that, that's it from me. Like I said, please subscribe and please drop a comment for engagement. It really helps me, as it will make YouTube push my videos and more people will see it. And also just drop a like. But that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and bye.